Word of the day: foment. To foment something such as hostility or opposition is to cause it or try to cause it, or to grow or develop. Foment is used synonymously with incite, which is what I want to do every time that we got to do these stupid debates with Jordan and Braun every single day, dog. Are we better than this
Point
by
of
now? We've
order.
evolved. We've evolved past this, right? Haven't we?
I mean, if you're under 30 and you think it's LeBron, you just need some education. If you're over 30 and you think it's LeBron, you're retarded. like,
But the thing for me is we do this every single day, 60,000 times a day. It's like, can we just do something different? Which is what we're doing.
no, we're hard headed individuals and we have to be right. like,
Yeah. Sports debate shows have made us this as human beings. Welcome back to Chop It Up P. Scott. I'm Prescott Kelly. Today is Tuesday, June 11th. Glad to have you back with us. I got Jay with me, my guy. How are you feeling today, dude?
I'm good, you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, everything is easy peasy lemon squeezy. The only problem, and we talked about this a little bit off air, was yeah, I can't stream anything to my Facebook account, which is where all the people's is at. Um, so I'm a little disengaged for the moment while I try to share this to the other socials. Um, but yeah, so you had brought up a certain story point to me, and like I said, on the ticker we usually go in sequential order of what's listed on the timeline. But because the YouTube channels is not popping, because I never use it, we're not going to do that. We are going to go into Joey Chestnut territory because you sent this to me, which I thought was fantastic. So, what was the news and how did you find out about it?
I was just scrolling through Facebook and Joey Chestnut got banned from the competition. So, I had to post it everywhere and be like, what the hell? like,
do you actually care? For one, do
yes.
you actually care?
Yeah, he's an American, icon now.
I love.
It's like Joe Dirt. He's just an American icon now.
I mean, like you're not too far off because like one, you wrap yourself in the flag and it's a 4th of July event, and
hmm
he's we do the whole goat thing way too often. But
That's
there's
the
like
GOAT.
yeah, it's undeniable at this point in time.
He's got like 16, 17 of them.
Yeah, so I found out today that he has 16 because the only reason why I know that is because it said he's unable to, you know, participate in his 17th victory.
hmm
So either at 17 years he's done it or he has 16 belts already.
The point is, he got too many.
Yo, he's like the Mark Spitz and the Michael Phelps of uh
Hot dog eating.
yeah, I was gonna make some joke about
Yeah, and I did not want to go down that lane.
right. But I see you, man. So, but like, so do you actually watch the hot dog eating contest?
okay, not really, but I watched the highlights later.
I watch the highlights later. This is like every dude right now who has an opinion on the WNBA, and they're like, "Yeah, I watched the highlights later, and I'll formulate an opinion."
I'll be honest, I ain't watched a single damn second of it this year.
No, and we'll
I've
get to
seen
that.
the little Facebook clips, but I ain't sat down and watched the game.
No, and that's the thing, like that's a talking point that we have for later on in the show, and that perfectly illustrates my point. But you and I have seen enough jokers who think that they know stuff when they don't know anything. Um,
Yeah,
but so we'll move on from Joey Chestnut in a minute. So to clarify, he signed a contract with a vegan hot dog place. Is that what the issue was?
yeah. And Nathan's got pissed apparently.
And they're just like, you just can't do this thing anymore.
Yeah, they just banned him.
How much do you think his sponsorship is worth with them? Because like when I do word association with I'm grilling hot dogs, I don't always just go to Nathan's. I only know Nathan's because of this particular event every single year, but I don't buy them anyways.
Nobody buys them shits anyway.
It's so weird.
I don't, I don't know anybody who eats those.
Just hot dogs in general or Nathan's specifically.
I mean, hot dogs in general for real. Unless it's Fourth of July or like a big barbecue, and you need to feed a ton of people, and you just need a cheap food option that tastes good. Like that's all it's there for. But like I can't remember the last time I had a hot dog. I don't know.
It's been a while for me too because yeah, like it's not something that is just like, hey, what do you guys want for dinner? Hot dogs? Cool, let's do it. No, it's an event, right? But I
Yeah,
think that that's you know how there's certain brands and certain items that are only hot during holidays, whether it be Christmas or Mother's Day,
yeah,
like
like
whatever.
soup during fall.
Yeah, so like this to me, this feels like they're like, yo, we're right around the corner and you did this now. But
Mm.
I wonder what his deal was with them, like what the marketing portion was, because for you to not you can be pissed off that he signed with a vegan place for whatever
Hmm.
reason, but do you really think you're gonna lose that much money by him not endorsing yours?
My thing is like, if they gave him $1 million for every belt he's won, shoot, I don't blame him. I would just eat steak behind closed doors.
Well, what's weird too is like he's not just a hot dog dude. Like I didn't dive into this for the the mechanics of this particular show, but I know
No,
he's
but
done
he's
other
like a competitive eater for everything.
right exactly. But the only thing he's known for is this specific thing. So to me, it seems short sighted by Nathan's to just drop the only reason why anybody knows your brand is because of this dude. That
Hmm.
seems kind of dumb to me. But
Yeah,
what do I
and
know?
nobody's gonna honor the champion because they're gonna be like, asterisk, Joey wasn't there. You
Yeah,
lose.
Scotty doesn't know. Joey wasn't there, and I don't know, man. Like I feel like that's the only reason why people chimed in is because they knew two names: Kobayashi, Joey Chestnut, and that was
I
it.
didn't even know the first one. I only knew Joey.
Oh,
That was
really?
it.
Yeah, that's we talk about this, man. That's because you're in your mid 20s. You don't know about that Kobayashi life. Kobayashi was the Joey Chestnut before Joey Chestnut, and then Joey Chestnut became like basically God.
Yeah, he became three Michael Jordans
Yeah, yeah,
almost.
right.
Like,
So what we'll do? I think it's enough Joey Chestnut talk. I think we made our point
yeah.
very very
R.I.P.
eloquently.
to an American hero.
R.I.P. to an American hero. I'm sure that he'll what they're gonna do. He's gonna speaking of them,
He's
Jay.
gonna beat them with the vegan hot dogs on Fourth of July, and then get more views, and then completely screw Nathan's.
Yo,
Like,
that's exact to be petty because you and I talked about this. That is the most petty thing that we saw them do was like, oh, you're not branding with us anymore. We're gonna kick you out. It'd be so great if he just did his own individual video of him just mowing down a bunch of those and say like, watch this, and then just get that YouTube money or whatever it is right then and there.
that's exactly what I would do. Like, I'm gonna get paid off this either way.
Right. If you can be petty, I know how to be. I'm the 50 Cent. I'm the Curtis Jackson of pettiness.
Shoot,
I'm
I got
actually
more
not, man.
games than Miller and Bradley and the Parker brothers put together.
Moving on. Before we do, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, smash those 5-star reviews on all your audio platforms. This will be uploaded to the actual audio platforms later on today. And also with our new sponsor, www.w.gg for all your hydration and energy needs. Use promo code PSCOT, PSCOTT for 10% off your online purchase. So, would you rather go Caitlin Clark or Justin Jefferson first?
Let's do Caitlin.
Kaylin, okay, that's good because that's going to make me more chronologically. I see you and I appreciate you for that.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
pissed
I
that
read
she's
the
not?
ticker.
I know because like yeah, man, you're good at this. You've been on the show a couple of times. You know how my mind works and how your mind works.
Hmm.
So are you upset at all at the fact that she's not on the Olympic team?
No,
All
like,
right, moving on.
I don't know. Yeah,
Case closed.
I'm not gonna act like I'm all outraged and like I actually give a damn, because like, if I did, I'd watch the full games and stuff. Like, from what little bit I've seen and been looking at, like, I'm not saying she won't eventually be one of the top 12 players in the WNBA, but there's vets and all that. It kind of sucks that the Olympics is in her rookie year, but like, she literally just got done being at Iowa. It feels like 3 months ago, and now you want her to
Yeah.
do play at Iowa, play a WNBA season, and then go to the Olympics. Like, them girls are whooping her ass. Like, she needs to just have an off season to just get her body back right. I think in the long run, it would be good that she don't play in the Olympics this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal either. I know that people, the conversation that I've always, or what has been pushed down my throat, is that, well, the WNBA needs her at the Olympic level. And I've always thought, man, as somebody again who does not watch a lot of women's hoops, is
Mhm.
I know what the outcome is. They be beating the brakes off everybody. Is
Yeah,
there
we
really?
won 7 straight golds. Like, what?
So if the world wasn't watching them then, you think that this one white girl from Iowa is going to be the reason why people across the world are going to start watching? It it just
Nah.
seems like it's a reach, bro.
I think it just win the damn gold. Like, that's what you're there for. You're not there to sell tickets or nothing. Like, you're there to win the gold and come home.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but the argument I've seen is that the WNBA needs her to be in the Olympics to grow the WNBA, and I've gotten some heat from this, but it's like the WNBA and the Olympics are not correlated. They are not the same thing. One happens every 4 years, one happens every year. And if you weren't watching them before and they were just smoking and beating the brakes off of other countries, why would you watch now to see the same outcome? It means you don't care about the basketball. You care about
Hmm.
something different.
Exactly. But, like, I hate that we as a society have done this. We always want to lower the standard to the person instead of raise the person to the standard. She's not a top 12 player yet.
Which
And
is okay.
that's not a diss. Like, we allowed Michael Jordan to become Michael Jordan. We weren't like, why isn't Michael Jordan a top 5 player right now and he's a rookie? It's like he's a rookie. That's why. We didn't
Well,
do it to Wembenyama this year either.
we'll see, and that's so. Victor kind of got a little bit of that, especially because of like what I've heard, and this is the thing, like what I repeat and when I say what I've heard does not mean it's my particular opinion, but when there was the argument of who should win Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy or Victor, it was, well, Rudy's on like a top 5 team in the West. How many games did the Spurs win? I'm like, that's
I
not
don't
really
care.
that. It one, there's that, but it's also, what does that have to do with anything?
He was
Well,
easily the best defensive player in the NBA this year. He should have been the defensive player of the year.
I look, I'm with you. I believe that as well. Now you can say it's a cheat code because he's 9 foot 12.
Okay,
That
God has favorites. Deal with it, sweetheart.
right. Right. So yeah, that's my point though, is like, just because he's built that way doesn't mean that he shouldn't be recognized for what he actually did. So
Paco Fall 7'4", and he was not that good. Like, it does. You have to actually be skilled at basketball.
exactly. But yeah, so with the whole with the to circle back to Caitlin Clark, because we got off topic for a minute, was yeah, because I'm 100% with you on the fact of, like, you do have to earn this, and without trying to be the macho sports dude who's like, oh, what have you done lately? No, like, you do have to earn it. And yeah, you were great in college. And like you said, like, she's, as somebody again, because we need to disclose this every time because people get mad when dudes start having opinions on things that we don't really watch. But you can get a pretty good, pretty good judge of what's actually going on based off of results without having a 100% formulated opinion. And it seems like she's struggling, and that's okay. Because, like you said, with Jordan, man, like, he struggled at first. It's fine. These people are young. They're gonna work into they're gonna build into their bodies, and they're going to learn with the struggles. It's just part of life, man.
And I think because, respectfully, nobody watched WNBA basketball before this year, really. I
I
don't
still don't
think,
believe that most of these people do. To be like, I know they're,
to be honest, yeah, I don't believe it either, but I'm just going to be nice today.
well,
But
so the numbers are the numbers when it comes to like in stadium and also like with people watching, but I'm talking about more specifically the community that you and I occupy at the same time.
Mm,
Though the keyboard warriors.
yeah, it's just I just don't get it. Like I think just because like and I've been listening to people like smarter than me about WNBA basketball. WNBA basketball has always just been really physical because in the NBA you can just jump over people. It's more vertical, whereas WNBA is more played on the ground. It's more physical, more gritty than the men's game. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's getting the crap beat out of her because she's real skinny. She hasn't like gotten. She's not in her physical prime yet. Now once she gets there, then yeah, she'll probably be on Olympic teams and probably be a MVP of the league and probably win a championship or two. But
See, that's the
that's
thing is
not
like
today.
right. Yeah, that is not the narrative. That's not the outcome today. And also, like when you're allowed to grow as a person and as a player, right? But we like you
Mhm.
said, we don't allow that to actually happen anymore. Um, I had a thought and I got sidetracked for a moment. Um, but I'll say this, and if you have more to add on this, please do.
Mhm.
I think that she just needs a break, dude. Like,
That's what
her-
I was saying. Like 3 months ago, I feel like I watched her play the national title game at Iowa. Now she's getting her freaking butt kicked in the WNBA, and now you want her to go play a competition overseas where like they're really not gonna care. They're gonna rough her up even more than probably the WNBA has. Like
well,
let her body recover for 3 months.
so there's that, and also like we've seen NBA players not want to go or teams not let them go because they're too important to their individual franchises. So we can drape ourselves in the flag and patriotism all we want to, but at the end of the line, everything is a business, right? Whether it's for the business or the person as a business. So we've seen players and we've seen teams say, "You're not playing in the Olympics. You're not playing in exhibition games because we can't afford to lose you." So there might be that under the umbrella that we're not actually seeing. But I mean
Mhm.
it more from like not even a physical standpoint, but from an emotional standpoint. Mentally, she's like, every single day I am needed by somebody, and that's the same damn. And this is why I hate post game interviews. Is it's the same damn question every
Mhm.
single time, and you get the exact same answer. And maybe she just wants a vacation from not having to do this in another country.
Y- Yeah, because you got to do all that travel. Then it's just, yeah. I think she could just use a few months to just
Like
not be in
decompress.
the headlines, not see her name every 30 seconds everywhere, get out of the spotlight, focus on herself for a minute, and come back next season. And I'm not saying she got to be
And then
an
maybe
MVP
they'll
by
win
next
10
season
games instead of
either,
four.
but she'll be a little better. And then by year 4 or 5, hopefully she'll be in the top 5 for MVP and trying to get championships.
Yeah, and I think at that point in time, like she'll probably develop enough where, and I don't even mean develop as in like she's not skilled because like she is. It to think that she's not would be dismissive
Yeah.
and to a point disrespectful. Like, and it's not even towards women. It's just when you have the accolades that she has to say that you don't think that she can do it is it's dismissive and disrespectful. But yeah, you got to grow into your body, you got to grow into the grind. And it's okay to not be the best at what you do for all time when you're in your early 20s,
Yeah. Like
unless you're Justin
it
Jefferson.
well, yeah, then you're
That's not a
expected to be the
segue.
GOAT and you got to go get 110 million guaranteed real quick.
Well, see, and that is how we segue, and that is what we call a professional outcome. Justin Jefferson, you like that deal or no?
No.
Thank you. But so everything with me
I
is not
understand it, but I don't like it.
okay. And that is a very logical way to approach it. I understand it, but I don't like it because, well, let me get your take first. I don't want to hijack
Well,
what you had in the chamber already.
it's I mean, for me football games are won in the trenches. I don't You don't necessarily need the greatest wide receivers. If you give me the best defensive line and the best offensive line in the league, I'm gonna win a lot of football games. Especially if I got anybody who's half decent throwing the football. Like,
Well, and I think that that's the reason why they did that is because they had somebody who was half decent in Kirk Cousins. It's like, oh, we'll just get JJ McCarthy. Like everything's gonna be fine. I just for me,
man, JJ's trying to hold out now. He needs to just sign his deal and get to camp.
whoa, wait, wait.
Apparently, he
I did
wants
not know
all of
this.
his money up front, like his whole signing bonus to be like up front. And the Vikings are like, no, we've never done that before and we're not doing it today.
I didn't know that you could even do that.
I didn't either. Like,
That's okay. So that's wild. I thought there was a rookie salary in place. Like you can't negotiate outside the parameters of your original deal. Am I missing something on that or?
I think you can. I think technically you can make it all signing bonus and get it up front. Technically, I feel like
Huh.
somebody's done it before. I'm not sure, but apparently that's what he wants. It's like
No,
I'm a
that's
Michigan fan,
crazy.
but you are not good enough to be making these demands when you haven't even taken a snap in the NFL.
Well, and I understand if this is true because I've actually haven't heard any of this, which is wild because with my timeline and with the amount of things that I follow, I usually get some weird, obscure rookie or whatever deal going on. I hadn't heard anything about that, but I'm with you. JJ is not good enough to be able to make those demands because we saw how much backlash Caleb Williams was getting, and I think that Caleb Williams is way better than JJ McCarthy, and he still went
Well,
number one.
yeah,
But so the contract itself is, I understand. I'm with you where it is. I understand because he is the best wide receiver in the league. Argu-
it's not
Arguably,
how I would build a team, but if I get it for
I
what,
would never.
because you at least need to give you want to see if your rookie quarterback can do anything. So if you're like, look, we got you the best weapon in the league. We've got T.J. Hawkinson. We've got Addison. They have all the pieces. If he can't play, we're gonna know right away because they've got two tackles. They've got all the skill positions.
And I wonder if that's the reason also why he's holding out because he wants to secure the bag up front. But if this is even true, because I've never even heard about
Mhm.
this situation with him in Minnesota, or if it's even possible to do it, because I thought they were pretty etched in stone. But
Yeah,
obviously, if he hasn't signed yet, there could be some loopholes on it. Um, but I'm with you, man. They want to know if they got him or not, and it's a smart move by Minnesota because there's no reason to pay Kirk Cousins that kind of money when he's
and
almost
then you got to
40.
pay JJ and
And then you got paid
yeah.
JJ. Yeah, exactly. So they like I feel like it's a smart move based on you don't know what you're getting at quarterback, but I'm with you. I would never ever pay a wide receiver 40 plus or 40-ish million dollars a year. I would never do it because you can we saw the stats that Addison was putting up without JJ. Like it's to me it's about volume and targets.
Hmm.
There's it's the same thing with Mahomes. I would pay Mahomes $55 million a year. There's nobody else that I would, though. It's the same
I'll
thing with wide
write
receivers.
Mahomes a blank check, whatever the hell he wanted.
Thank you. Yeah, that's always been my thought process. Is like Mahomes, whatever you want, bro.
Because
I
he's
got
shown me you can win back-to-back Super Bowls with no names at wide receiver. If you want to take some of that money for yourself, whatever.
exactly. And that's the way that I've always looked at this. And I've caught a bunch of heat like, oh, you don't think Josh Allen? You don't think this? You don't think that? No, not saying they're not good quarterbacks. And that's the whole reason why we have this conversation about these wide receivers is I think, and in the ticker, I have is this going to be the new Deshaun Watson deal? Because when the Browns traded for him and gave him all that guaranteed money, and they saw how bad he's been since, it's well, we're done doing this. We're done doing that kind of guaranteed money. We're done with all of that because of Deshaun Watson. This I feel could potentially be that because Justin Jefferson is worth the money. All these other dudes are just, they're great, but
Mm.
you're not going to be worth that plus $1.
Yeah, my thing is like even if everything goes well and he doesn't get injured again and plays all the games and let's say he's 1,500 yards and 12 to 15 touchdowns a year, I don't. I can get that same kind of production for less than $35 million a year.
And exactly. Well, if you have the right dude, and that's the thing is like you have to
like
be
even
able,
if it's 1,200, if I get 1,210 from another dude, but he costs like 7 million, like
right. And that, but that's the whole thing is like when you outkick your coverage, when you outplay your contract, you think that you're the most important person on the team, especially when you win a Super Bowl. Because I made this comparison with like Madden. When you win a Super Bowl, like all your attributes just shoot through the roof, and then you can't keep people because you think that you're the reason why, and you're not.
nope.
So like,
It'll be
yeah, like,
interesting to see like Brock Purdy when he gets paid, if he's really good or
dude, and
having 70 billion all pros on your team kind of makes you good.
yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing where I made the exact same argument and to keep with San Francisco even was when they paid Debo Samuel because they had Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. I'm like, if Debo's not willing to play running back at all anymore, Debo's not a number one wide receiver, and you're paying him to be a number one wide receiver with a trash quarterback. That contract makes zero sense. And now they're dealing with this Ayuk situation, and Ayuk's a better wide receiver.
Yeah, I heard they offered him around 26 million a year, and I'm sure he's looking at the market like, I'll just play this year out and get 30 plus next year in free agency.
Oh, with Ayuk,
Yeah,
he might, but that's the whole thing. Like, San
it just
Francisco
depends
has.
if they trade Debo, because Debo's only had one season where he went over 1,000 yards receiving.
We'll see, and that's always been my point because people are calling me a hater when I say that he's not that good of a wide receiver, and people want to
He's a
pick and choose.
football player. He's not a wide receiver.
Exactly. But nobody wants to pick up on that because I tell you, like, if you want a football player, you get Debo Samuel. If you want a wide receiver, you do not.
Yeah, like if you just want a hard running guy who's just gonna do whatever it takes to win and stuff, then yeah, go get Debo. But
But that was
if
the dude that you
if you
wanted
don't want to
when,
run, then that takes away that dog,
right. So,
because then it's harder to get the ball in his hands as a wide receiver because he's more football player than skilled wide receiver on the outside.
but see, and that's exactly, he did exactly what most people do. Now, he's not going to be labeled like an Albert Hainsworth because
Don't
that dude
remind
got,
me.
I know, but I had to poke the bear. I had to wake you back up because it looked like you were getting ready to take a nap on me.
Nah.
But like he's, or even a Chris Johnson. He's not somebody that when I do word association with getting the bag, I'm not going to assume that you basically quit. But you're
Mhm.
not going to get. He worked his ass off, got paid, and then once he did, he's like, yeah, but I don't want to do all that other tough guy stuff anymore. I just want to be a wide receiver. Well, then you lose your allure and what makes you the best version of you.
Yeah, it's kind of like marrying a chick who cooked for you, and then all of a sudden you put a ring on her finger and she don't want to cook no more. Kind of ruins it.
I mean, as a married man, still, even if I weren't, I love to cook. I don't want you cooking anyways. You can't do it as good as I can anyways.
Shoot, if it's edible and saves me time so I can go do other things, I'm good with it.
I love the thing for me is like it's people make fun of me, but for me, like when I cook, it is therapeutic, dude. Like it's I got nobody else and nothing else to worry about. I'll take as much prep time as I want to. It'll be perfect. And I'll my prep time's an hour, dog. Like I'm just over there, no cooking show kind of time clock. I'm just chopping veggies and getting my spices ready, man. But I do like for me, cooking is therapeutic.
Shoot, right
We
now I
did
just be
we
making
different in that,
ground turkey and rice and some hot sauce. Like,
which can be good. But my
I mean,
ass is
it is good if you just season it up good, but
that's the thing is like it can be good just on its own, but I'm gonna try to bougie it up because I like to when it comes to the culinary industry. I just feel like I have to do more than what is required. You have any more thoughts on this Justin Jefferson thing? Like where other, because even when I saw Jalen Waddle, like Jalen Waddle's contract, I thought was a little bit too much because he's got Tyreek Hill next to him, but that's not going to be the same. That's not going to be the story for the next, 5 years. It might be for the next year or two. Like,
Yeah, it's not how I would build my football team, even remotely. I mean, you don't need wide receivers to win Super Bowls.
well, and that's always been kind of my argument as well. Is like you can overpay for wide receivers all day long. They're going to miss time. They're quarterbacks. To me, I'd rather build and you make a good point of where you want to be the most dominant, right? Offensive line, defensive line. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. We saw Blake Bortles go to an AFC championship game and almost go to a Super Bowl because the offensive line, running game, and defense that year was bananas. But who they pay? That guy. And they
Yeah.
hit him in the AFC championship game. Like it's
Oh no, if I gotta
organization,
hide you, I ain't gonna pay you. I'm just gonna get somebody else who's not an idiot and can read cover two and throw it 15 times a game
We'll
and
see.
not have any turnovers.
We'll see, and that's always been kind of it's a really interesting talking point because I made that beforehand is unless you have absolutely 100% the dude, not the dude that you think that you have, but if you have the dude, which we get every 10 to 15 years, and Mahomes is this version of that. If you've got that guy, you pay him. If you don't, I'm not signing any quarterback at all to a second contract.
No, not with how the rookie wage scale is.
Well, there's that on top of the fact like every GM and every person in charge of player personnel thinks that they're the smartest person in the room. And like, I can get the most out of that dude. You just give him to me and I'll make it work. On every rookie, I would trade every single rookie quarterback once when they're 1 year before eligibility for their extension. If I didn't know that he was the next GOAT in conversation, I'm trading him that year to get stuff back because everybody else thinks that they're smarter than I am. You get a haul every damn year.
Like, could you imagine if Justin Herbert got traded, like, so that Harbaugh could take McCarthy?
Yo, that was when
Like
people
how
were
much
saying
crap
that,
they could have got.
that was the dumbest. That was the dumbest I was hearing all off season is that he'd be willing to trade him for
I knew
bro.
that was never gonna happen.
Like I understand it's slow in that time of season, and then fan bases are gonna get they're going to get really irritated about the lack of success and everything else. But there was not one point that I try to be an open-minded person, but if you were trying to tell me that the Chargers were going to trade Justin Jefferson or I'm sorry, Justin Herbert to get JJ McCarthy, there wasn't one fiber in my being that was like, there might be some truth to that.
What if somebody offered you 300 or not 300, 3 first-round picks, 3 twos, and a player, and
For
then
Josh
you
Allen.
yeah, would you do that?
I mean, depending on you're telling me 3 firsts, it'd be like 2025, 6 and 7.
Yeah, 5, 6, and 7, and then second rounders in there, and then a player.
Oh, I would do that in absolute heartbeat. If I was the Bills, because this is the reason why everybody calls me a bad Bills fan. No, I know I've seen this movie so many damn times. Let me ask you a question. How many Super Bowls do the Bills have?
No.
Boop. They've got AFL championships, but no Super Bowls. So why would I think that anything would be different? And I know that every regime is different. There's always different coaches and coordinators and quarterbacks and everything else. They have one of the worst wide receiving cores in football now that Stephon Diggs is gone. Their offensive line is overrated because Josh Allen is right now a minotaur. That defense, the secondary has been decimated because of retirements and trades and all this other stuff. They are not going to be a good football team. The Bills still might win games because Josh Allen is going to do Josh Allen things, but they're going to lose at the end of the day every year because Josh Allen will still do Josh Allen things. So yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat. It's going to be a huge cap hit for them, and I understand that, but they are so far away from being actually good. I would take 3 firsts, 3 seconds, and a player. You could even whatever player you want to throw in, I would take it.
Like, say it was from the Rams, and you give McVay, Josh Allen, and you know them
Well, they
picks are
don't
gonna
have
be
first round
low.
picks until like 2048.
No, they got them. They're back on track.
Oh, are they? I thought they were. I thought they were still done with first round. They didn't have a first round pick for like another like 3 or 4 years or so.
I thought that they were. I don't know. Maybe not.
I thought they mortgaged everything to get Stafford I thought they didn't have a first round pick for
The
years.
Stafford trade's completed. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it wasn't even just that because they traded for Ramsey as well. So they
Did they
did
trade for Ramsey before Stafford?
they mm,
I
I
think
believe
so.
so, but like they gave up a lot in the future, and they might be done with it. But from what I remember, which may be incorrect, was I thought they didn't have a first round pick for like another 2 or 3 years or so.
It didn't need to be but I'm just saying, like, somebody who you know that those draft picks are not going to be high if you take them.
Yeah, I'd still do it. Because what we were just talking about, what would we rather overpay for something that we know doesn't have value? And I'm not saying that Josh Allen isn't value, but he's not valuable when you don't have offensive weapons. And I would rather rebuild it, get 3 first rounders, 3 additional first rounders. So I get 2 firsts next year, 2 firsts in 2026, 2027, and then yeah, of course, because it's not just Josh Allen. It's they need to have a better offensive line, better wide receivers, better secondary, because that secondary is cheeks right now. You got to rebuild. So yeah, I mean, if you're not going to win, and that's always the back and forth, right? Do you give up everything to win right now, or do you mortgage for the future? And at some point in
It
time, you have to
depends if
realize,
you think Josh Allen's the guy. Because if you think he's the guy, then you say, screw them picks. We're going to trade them all like the Rams did, and we're going to get a bunch of talent. But
but the
if you
thing is,
don't think he's the
they already
guy,
did
you
that
shouldn't
though.
be paying him $55 million a year either.
Right, but so like they did that. They thought that they had, and I'm not trying to say that Josh Allen isn't one of those dudes. He's not the dude. He's one of the other dudes, and I understand that. But they went in and got Stephon Diggs. He's not there. Poyer's not there. Hyde's not there. White's not there. That is not a good football team, especially on defense anymore. Offensive line is overrated because Josh Allen just makes them look better. Nah, man, like I don't feel good about it, man. I would much rather just cut bait, get things started, and rebuild because that's kind of what I've been used to. And I'm comfortable with that. You can't hurt me.
Shoot, I know Jaden Daniels is about to be better than Mahomes, so it is what it is.
You said Jaden Daniels is gonna be better than Mahomes?
Yeah.
That's the Washington fan, you dog. That is some absolute homer.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
I appreciate your openness about it though.
Nah, if he can get us one Super Bowl, I'm good with it.
Y'all already have what, 3?
I wasn't alive for none of them.
Okay, that's fair.
I did get to wear Mark Mosley's Super Bowl ring, though.
You got to wear it?
Yeah.
That was their MVP kicker, right?
Yep.
That's some wild shit with the wing
Yeah, I was like
MVP.
10 years old at this like Christian conference, and he was there. And my dad messed up the first picture. And then Mark Mosley was like, wait a second, son. Then he pulls the ring off and he said, take the picture with this. And then he put the Super Bowl ring on my finger. So I got a picture of me and Mark Mosley wearing the Super Bowl ring.
Whoa, yo, that's dope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Hey,
Like,
pictures or it didn't happen. I want to see it.
I do have pictures. They're on Facebook.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back through there with my phone because apparently I can't do it on my computer. Ain't no way you left me again, bro. We had issues last time. Jay, I'm gonna give him a minute because last time he had some phone issues. His phone died. That might be what's happening right now. But right now,
Oh, could you not hear me?
what was that? No, you were no, dude, you were completely cut off. I was filibustering. I was getting ready to getting ready to start music and stuff. And
Oh no, I went to go through Facebook to go look for the picture of me and Mark Mosley.
oh
I didn't realize that it cut off my audio.
no. Oh, you're good. No, man, that's wild. I was like, man, we had this issue last time, but that was like your phone
Yeah.
died. Like that's a completely different situation. So I was like,
No,
oh
I'm
man,
at 55% right now. We good.
all right. So all right, no, you're fine. Like we look, these things happen. What we do is we just take two. Um, but no, so I do want actual proof that you had that happen though, because I think that people will be interested to see that. Who's
I'll
the coolest
DM
person?
you after this.
That sounds good. So who's the coolest person? Actually, now we're on this subject, like just tangentially, like who's the coolest person that you ever met randomly, or most famous person you met randomly?
Okay, he's nowhere near the most famous, and nobody's gonna know who he is. But there was this left tackle for the Redskins back in the day. His name was Stephon Heyer, and we went to Redskins camp to see them play. He was freaking huge, but he was like hilarious. He signed all of our stuff, and he was just funny. So it was cool. Antoine Randall don't like signing autographs. I know that. I found that out.
Oh, you too good for Indiana too, huh?
No, he don't like signing autographs. Like he just don't do it.
So I don't have that's like so I've met Jerome Kersey once.
Hmm.
So he was up here traveling with the Harlem Globetrotters. So I got a picture with him and some of the other Globetrotters. This was probably like 9 months before he passed away.
Hmm.
Super cool dude. Because I was my wife was bartending at this restaurant and they
Hmm.
were all staying there in the hotel. And I was like, "You're Jerome Kersey, aren't you?" And he didn't want to
Hmm.
answer because he knew how this was going to end, and it ended exactly how he thought it would. But apparently he loves frambois. So
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Can I buy you a drink?" He's like, "Yeah, frambois." I was like, "Frambois? Oh, look at you, okay." But yeah, we just sat there and talked hoops for like 2 hours. He was dope. And then I went on a basketball trip to California, and I ran into Tyronn Lue and Sean Marion.
Oh, that is
That was
crazy.
yeah. So I was like 17, and yeah, man, that was so. As far as famous people are concerned, those are the two people, the three people that are the most famous I've ever ran into. But
I met Jace from Duck Dynasty.
I've never watched that show.
It is funny.
I've heard I've heard that it's actually I know it's not supposed to be, but I've heard that it's hilarious.
It's just a bunch of dumb rednecks being rednecks, and that's why it's funny.
So that's absolutely 100% an Alaskan show then.
Oh yeah, yeah. Your whole audience has probably watched it all 3 times over.
Oh, I would imagine so. So moving on to the NBA. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's tough being the executive producer and the host, and I forget where my buttons is at. Um,
Your
so
girl knows where
far,
they are.
what was that?
Your girl knows where they are all
Yeah,
the time.
they be pushing them.
That's life advice.
That's not fair. That's not just my wife.
No,
I know
that's for every man in the world right there.
it's also relationships because like I don't do it. I try to be a very good person,
I
but even
don't.
sometimes I can be super petty. And if you want to do it to me, I can do it to you. I try not to. But
Hmm.
everybody's got that threshold. So anyway, NBA Finals. Has it gone the way that you thought that it would so far, or are you surprised by anything as far as the outcome on the O2
I
deficit
mean,
to the Mavs?
it's gone how I expected it to, but not how I wanted it to because I wanted Kyrie to win. But what I hate most about this series is like, first of all, I hate Boston. I hate saying anything nice about anybody who ever played in Boston. But Jason Tatum getting too much flack. Like he's doing he's playing winning basketball, and people are mad he's not just dropping 40.
Oh, I'm so glad that we arrived here that you did it because I was going to bring it up as a talking point because the narratives and the storylines are is what more it's what's more engaging to me. So you don't have a problem with any of that. Like his play versus the stats versus
Man,
how we
screw them
perceive.
stats. Win the daggum game. And he's
But
playing winning basketball. He's playing great defense. He's distributing the ball. Like, he's playing winning basketball. And if you just watch the game, when he's getting doubled, he's passing out of it and getting an assist. Like, sue him for not wanting to shoot when he's double and triple teamed.
I mean, he's still averaging like 30 shot attempts a game or something. I know it's not that's a little bit hyperbolic,
Yeah.
but so the thing for me, I agree with you because I know that he's getting I feel like
Blamed.
well, he's getting flamed by everybody who says you have to be finals MVP for it to matter, right? Like
I mean, that's
because
kind of the tier where everybody's put him. Like, he was supposed to be the next thing. Like, he's in Boston. He's supposed to be the best player. And if you're the best player in a big market team, yeah, you're supposed to win Finals MVP every time.
we'll see. But see, that's the sports simp, and those are the people who I'm talking to right now. Especially because like they were putting on him on this pedestal that he was the next Kobe. You remember this, right?
Uh, I still think it's
Like,
corny that he shared those texts to Kobe, but whatever.
that's but see, that's the whole point. When you do that, it opens you up to what has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been my entire it has been disclosed by multiple people on the sports media platform that Jason Tatum is a superstar. Not my words, other people's
Yeah,
words.
that's what everybody say.
But I don't have a problem with him not being one, but just don't gas him up. And then the moment that he's not playing, we'll be like, well, now he's playing good team basketball. But not that that's what you're doing, because I agree that he is doing
There's
what you
only
need to do.
like 4 superstars in the league at a time anyway. He's not there. He's a star,
He's
but he's
good.
not.
He's very good.
Like, it's Giannis, LeBron, KD, Embiid, and I'm probably forgetting one, but like that, those are the superstars.
Like, and even then, like each one has their deficiencies, right? You could say Luke is a superstar.
Well, yeah, you can.
You could say SGA, but I understand because of like Oklahoma City just not getting as much love. Whatever, that's fine. But like you did, like you named like the big time dudes. Those are the big time dudes.
To be a
And we
superstar to me, you have to be able to be the 1A on a team that wins a championship. If I don't think that I can win a championship with you being my best player, then you're not a superstar.
and see, and that's a rational thought process. Like I agree with that. What I'm going through is like the narrative of people were trying to anoint Jason Tatum to a certain level that he had not reached and had not deserved. But now that Boston is on the precipice of winning a title, they're okay with when he has struggling games statistically, and that bothers me because y'all need to be consistent about what y'all want. Stop being flippy floppy about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it is, because I have never put Jason Tatum on the pedestal of he is a superstar. I know he's very very good at basketball, but that
Yeah,
roster, that starting
he's
five
a
might be
star,
right. And to me, like all those things are kind
but
of
they have the
stupid.
best starting five, like you were about to say. They have the best starting five.
It's it's weird because I caught some heat, and I'll have to get on my other Paul Pierce defense thing in a moment and bring you into that because I have no idea where you land with him. But that might be the best starting five, and I know that old heads always want to say the Bulls and the Lakers and blah blah, but like, bro, they've got like five dudes who are all legitimate all stars. That might be the biggest monster team. They may not have the best overall player we've ever seen, but that culmination of five starters when Porzingis is in might be the best starting five that I've ever seen. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean they don't have, like you said, a Luca or a SGA or one of those guys, but that's fine. The only problem is going to be next summer or maybe this summer when they have to pay Brown and Tatum like they're both 1As on a
Well,
championship team.
well,
And then the
Brown's
tax
already getting paid though.
yeah, but I think Tatum's coming up next year and then you're going to have both of them making 300 whatever $1 million.
Yeah, so
And then
Brown
that
got the
tax
extension.
apron comes in, then you can't keep Drew Holiday, you can't keep White and Porzingis and all that.
I think they're going to be okay to a degree. Like next year might be the fall off because, like you're right, when it comes to um, their starting five, Jaylen Brown's already getting paid. He's the highest paid player in the NBA, which is absurd to me.
I remember
Uh,
when Mike Conley was like,
yo, I'm s- I forgot that that was a real thing. That was real life in real time.
it
That
was like
Mike Conley.
$150 million, and I was like, what the
That was
hell?
like 7 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like
My,
that.
my timeline might be wrong, but yeah, dude, I forgot Mike Conley was the highest paid player in the NBA. But that goes back to
Mhm.
Justin Jefferson also. Like just because you got the most money don't mean that you deserve it. Um, you're the most worthy person for your team, but not in the league. But
Well, especially in the NBA, where if you just stay with the team that drafted you, you're gonna make a lot more money than a guy who's got
because
traded or cut or
they give you the
whatever.
incentives to stay put.
Hmm
And
If you're good, if you're good at basketball and you stay on your same team you got drafted on, the NBA is gonna pay you a lot of money.
so much. There we go. I got my Mario one. There we go. I do
Yeah.
not even a whole lot of a lag on that one. But yeah, so it's just the money portion with Tatum and Brown is obviously gonna be pretty substantial going forward if they stay together, which I think that they will. But
Yeah, they'll probably stay
Drew,
together their whole career, but I think they need. I don't think they're gonna rattle off 6 straight championships with this new tax
no,
apron. Like they can win it this year and then next year, and then after that,
it's gonna be tough. It's like people who told me the Bengals were gonna win like 4 Super Bowls. I'm like, no, because you outkicked your coverage with drafting wide receivers, and you can't keep all of them together and pay Burrow. Like that's not how this works. And once
you
again, I
can't
would
have
call it
three $30 million receivers and then a quarterback making 55. That's not how that
right,
works.
right, exactly. But I was a stupid one because apparently they could just keep it together, but that's not how any of that works.
I mean, if you want to go get the Walmart graders of America to try out for the rest of the team spots, then sure. But
So if you could have grabbed me when I was 19, I ran a 4.40.
you weren't
Good hand.
eligible for the draft when you were 19.
Shit, I mean, you don't know how smart I was. I could have already had 3 years of college eligibility. I didn't, but I could have.
And back in my day, I promise you, I sacked Mahomes. Like,
Yo, you just weren't there. You just I done seen it though because I was there.
mhm.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, when it comes to that money portion, like uh I don't think that Drew Holiday is going to play many more seasons because he's been in the league a long time.
Well,
Like
he
it isn't.
just signed for 4 years, 100 million.
Did he?
Yeah, they just gave him a 4-year deal this year.
Oh, and what's so crazy? Okay, so 4 years, 100 million, $25 million a year. It's amazing to know that that is a bargain contract.
Yeah,
He's
that's how
not.
you know the WNBA is, or not WN, the NBA is doing real good when that's like, hey, we're giving these 36-year-olds $100 million contracts still. Like,
And you're willing to pay because that's the thing too, is like that he's not going, he's a stand-up dude from everything that we know without
yeah.
actually knowing him. I feel like if he knew that he couldn't play anymore, he would retire because he'd think it'd be the right thing to do. But if you're going to pay me $25 million a year to not do something, I am going to be the 75th person on your roster
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
I mean, he probably better than me. He probably just retired, but like, if I'm 38 and I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna be, I'm not an NBA player no more. I'm sitting on the bench and collecting 50 million more dollars. Like,
That is exactly. And I didn't even know that he signed an extension. But yeah, that's my whole point though, is like, yo, when you get that contract, when you're that old, don't retire, man. Be the mentor. Because that's the other thing too. Sports fans love to do that. They want to make their own, they want to twist it, they want to twist a bad contract into making it make sense. Where it's like, well, he's basically an assistant coach. You could just pay an assistant coach $2 million a year and not him 25 and not play. Weird.
yeah, I mean, the Lakers were trying to give Hurley 12 million. You paying Drew double that to coach? Like, what are you doing?
That's you were you are so good at this with me as well. Moving on. So do you think that God, you do like you read my mind on that, man. You are really good at this. So the whole Dan Hurley thing with the Lakers, do you think that one, he's completely out of the race just because he turned it down for me, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, do you think he's completely done as a candidate for them? And do you think that there's anybody else who should be the leader because JJ Redick had so much steam going into it? And then it faded once Hurley's name got brought into the conversation.
Honestly, unless the Lakers got 50 more million dollars in their back pocket, I don't think so. Like, because I saw something somewhere where when they broke down the taxes of each state, he's only making 2 million extra a year playing with the Lakers. But once he buys a house, that money's gone anyway. Like,
I
and
swear,
then
okay,
the normal cost of living and all that stuff, they're basically paying him the same amount of money once you factor taxes into it. So if I was him, I'm trying to three-peat and become a legend in one sport before just trying to be, a very good coach. And then he might be trash in the NBA. Who knows? LeBron teams lately have been train wrecks. Like, if I was him, I'm not going there. Like, if I was him and I got offered the OKC job for that kind of money, then that might be a different story. But I would not want the Lakers job.
it's so weird because like I gave you the talking points, and all I said was Lakers, Hurley, and you're like, I can work with this. And your mind went the exact same way that I did because the first thing I thought of was, what is the tax situation? And apparently in Connecticut, like there's a range. It's not like a set number, which so if he's paying close, which he's probably not, because if you're making that kind of money, you probably have a really good accountant who's going to manipulate
Yeah, can maneuver
all
some
your
stuff
numbers.
around.
But I was looking at it from that perspective, and I think that's a fair assessment of what's my cost of living, and it's not even just cost of living for housing, because obviously the market in LA is going to be absurd.
But just trying to get groceries and gas, it's like,
And he's probably not super worried about that, but you do have to worry
yeah,
about it though. And yeah,
I'm I'm sure he's not worried, but like it's still in your human psyche to be like, why the
yeah,
hell am I paying $6 a gallon for gas? Why is milk $8 a gallon? Like,
right, exactly. There's all of those things which crossed my mind as well. And then I started thinking about it from a different angle, which is every single person who is in this space has an ego, whether they want to admit it or not.
well, yeah,
So when you know how much Monty Williams is getting paid, right? He's the
Williams.
head coach of the Pistons.
Oh yeah, he got like $60 million.
Yeah, so homeboy turned them down repeatedly. And now he's making almost $14 million a year to be the coach of the Pistons.
And lose a bunch of games.
And yeah, and then just be cheeks forever. So, but you have to know that, like, you have to, and this is kind of I understand the economics of like, well, we have to overpay to get somebody here who we think can be good. But once again, Monty Williams was good in Phoenix because he had a good roster. And we want to say, well, you were good there. You can make us better. Maybe you just have better players. And
I mean, it helps when you have Devin Booker on a team.
I mean, right.
Like it kind of helps things out a
I
little
heard that
bit.
he's pretty good at basketball. And I'm not saying that Cade Cunningham isn't good,
He's
but it's
not
like,
Devin Booker yet, though. I mean, he might be. He's just stuck in
well,
Detroit, but
well, yeah, it's like even with Booker, when he first came in the league, people said that he was trash because the Suns were trash.
even
And
though
it's
he's dropping 70 and they lose.
right. And that's my whole point. Like when he came in the league, I'm like, I know that Devin Booker is going to be good. And it's again one of those things where like you can see like your eyeballs can tell you how good somebody is. Just because the team sucks doesn't mean that you suck,
Hmm.
you know? But I think that what's happening, I don't think that Dan Hurley is out of the equation yet with the Lakers, only because I think that he's looking at that Monty Williams deal and going, mm-mm, man, that's a trash organization, and they're paying him almost $14 million a year, and you guys want to pay me less than 12, plus the tax that you were talking about, and all the my life is going to be much more difficult being in LA than it would be anywhere else. In Connecticut, they think I'm a god. You better
And
up the ante on that.
and especially if he wins 3 national championships in a row, like that makes him a school legend forever.
There's only been
I don't know if there's a. I think only John Wooden has three-peated.
well, John Wooden did it like 16 times, it feels like. But I
Well,
think
he
that
had
he's
Kareem, so that helps.
what was that? Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But I think you're right. I think he's the only one who ever three-peated because like Coach K never did it, but has multiple Bobby
Roy
Knight,
Williams never did it.
Calipari.
Bobby
Like
Knight never did. Calipari can't even win two.
how many rings does Calipari have?
One at Kentucky.
No, wait, is that his only championship? He has
Yeah,
one?
he's only. I'm pretty sure he's only got one championship.
The one with Anthony Davis? That's the only one he's got.
Yep.
I could have swore didn't. I feel like my memory from like the 90s, I have a picture of him with in a suit with his hands up in the air, freaking out.
I mean, they might have won a Final Four game to go to the national
Maybe,
championship and
maybe
lose,
that's what I'm
but
thinking about. Damn, I could have swore that he had more than one, but regardless, yeah, like he didn't three-peat. So at
no,
this
he
point
ain't
in
even
time,
got three total.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
So do you have any thoughts on who the Lakers actually might? And we'll go and hang it up after this because I know that you have a date with Mister Elliptical, Miss
Yeah,
Elliptical,
yeah.
and you've been
Uh,
very gracious with your time.
I don't really know any candidates. I just don't think it's a good job. Like, I don't know who would want to take it.
If like, so I understand that point of view because yeah, obviously being the head coach of the Lakers, there's a lot of, this is one of the things that I was thinking about this morning, and God, I'm so terrible at all of this in reality. Um, I was thinking about this morning is I'm wondering if the reason why Hurley didn't take this job is because of the uncertainty, not because
You need
of,
assurances that you're going to be coaching past LeBron James era. Like, you need that.
but that's my point is I feel like Dan Hurley either A really wants LeBron there or B really doesn't. And because he doesn't know what's going to happen, that's the reason why he's turned that job down. Like if he knew that he was going to be there and re-signed, he'd be like, I'm done because I don't want to deal with him. Or if he said, I'm re-signing and I know what I'm getting, yeah, dog, sign me up. It might be a 6-year deal, but for a year or two, I got LeBron. Let's go ahead and make it work. I feel like he is in limbo because LeBron's in limbo and he's saying, I'm not going to commit to anything regardless of what the outcome is. It doesn't matter. I just need to know, is he there or is he isn't? And if it matches up with what I want, I would say yes or no. That's the way that I'm looking at it, at
Mhm.
least.
The way I would look at it is my family's happy where I'm at. I don't need to pull my kids out of school and move them across the country. The money's basically the same once you factor in California's cost of living and stuff. And you can go for legend status, even if all goes well. and let's say Dan Hurley coaches there for 10 years and wins one championship, he's not going to be a legend in Lakers head coach history.
No, it's Phil Jackson, it's Pat Riley.
Like you're not going to be remembered like that, but you can be remembered like that at UConn and in college basketball history.
Which is wild because they had Jim Calhoun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Kevin Ollie. It's so weird that like him, Kevin Ollie, and then because Hurley's only been there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty remarkable what he's done. And again, as somebody who doesn't watch a whole lot of college hoops, I don't want to say like I know all this stuff, but I know what the outcome was.
He's kind of
That's
got the Jay Wright method. We're not going
right.
to recruit one and dones all the daggone time. We're going to actually build a team.
Yeah, and that's how you get. And I wonder, like, because Villanova, it was years ago, obviously, when they won with
Don't remind
DiVincenzo.
me.
Oh, um, I mean, we were close to ending it anyway, so I don't want to hurt your feelings no more.
No,
I'm
you're
not
good.
I'm not trying to be that guy. No,
No,
but
you're good.
no, but when you had those types of dudes, we all thought that Villanova was just kind of the program that got great college players but didn't make great NBA players. And it is just another testament to if you just let these kids become adults
Mm-hmm.
and actually grow into their bodies because they're 18, 19 years old coming into the league, sometimes you might miss out on things that you didn't know were great.
I mean, even if they stay in college 3 years and you get them at 20 years old or 21, they're still not in their man body yet. You still got to give them another 4 years before you know where they're going to be at.
Well, yeah, and I've always said that along with the fact of like NFL quarterbacks, and this is a take once again that I get a like just an absolute bunch of on is I'm okay with taking a quarterback who maybe is a senior as opposed to a junior. My bad. Like you're probably not getting the next greatest of all time anyways. So
So
if
would
he's
you
going to
take Bo Nix over JJ McCarthy?
the only again, I don't watch a
I
whole
just
lot of
wanted to see where your head's at.
the thing because Bo Nix is what 92.
He's had the most college starts at 61.
He
He
at
started for
61
5
years
years.
old or 61 total.
No, he's got 61 starts and he started all 5 years. I mean, it's nice to have a guy who's played in that many games and played in a lot of big environments like Tuscaloosa and all that. But I think
So
it depends on the player. Like,
no, it totally does, and but everything is circumstantial, right? Like we see who are the top guys in the NFL as far as quarterbacks. We think Patrick Mahomes, who went to
Mahomes.
Texas Tech, and nobody thinks that they were any good. Josh Allen, who went to Wyoming, Lamar Jackson went to Louisville. Like we see these like these guys who are Joe Burrow, both Ohio State
LSU.
and LSU, but like generally like Big Ben went to Miami of Ohio, and like
Well,
we have
LSU
Purdue with Drew
wasn't.
Brees.
LSU is like historically good, but you gotta keep in mind, like before Joe Burrow, LSU was kind of like a laughing stock almost because Les Miles couldn't get an offense in the 21st century.
Yeah, so like they were great,
Like
and they were bad, then they were great, and then they were bad again.
yeah, like they weren't like the typical dominant LSU. I mean, let me back. That 2019 team was like great, but like they weren't like consistently churning out that kind of talent
Right.
at that
It was
time.
like Tre'Davious White was like their last awesome player before Joe
Mhm.
Burrow and Justin Jefferson.
They had Chase too.
I don't care about Jamar Chase. No, but it's just like we do this thing where we feel like I got lost again because we had so many topics going on at the exact same time because we were getting ready to hang it up, and then my ADHD ass went ahead and went on 17 other different tangents as well. It's a blessing and a curse.
I mean, we still got everything covered in order. So I mean, I think we did
Well,
all right.
there's that. I think you're right. Well, Jay, I always appreciate your time, man. Like you're always real fun and respectful of the show. Um, I appreciate you and your time, Mr. or Mrs. Elliptical. You guys have a great time.
Will do.
Will do. Sounds good, man. You guys know what the deal is. You can find the audio version wherever you get your podcast. Like, share, subscribe, smash those 5-star reviews. Hide your kids about hide your wives. You can get 10% off your online purchase at www.w.gg with promo code PScott as well. Stay up, stay blessed. We'll catch you guys in the next one.